Hello, interwebs. Alrighty, hello people. And welcome to more F-scale model railroad roundhouse shenanigans. Andre, good to see you. Logan, good to see you. Trainman 112, good to see you. So, Oliver Lueck, hello, or Luck. Okay, I might need to get this cutting board earlier than I thought. So today, we are taking our wall for the one of the walls of the roundhouse and actually gluing on all of the stuff for it. So today we're gonna get the window sashes built. We're gonna get some stuff glued down, and hopefully get this thing actually looking like a roundhouse and not just a collection of random parts that you can infer is a roundhouse. So we'll get cranking on that. I'm also just trying to cut out these bits here without damaging them. So I'm finding that the X-Acto knife works really well for popping out stuff, but in some cases it's still better to pop out using your hands and not that. So they recommend, they meaning the maker of the roundhouse kit, to start on the small side and kind of work our way up, which is what I've got in front of me here. I've got the small end of the roundhouse and kind of going from there, and it looks like the sill just slots in. So by using this logic, that was very anticlimactic. Let's see here. Let's see. Haha. Excellent. It literally just locks right in. So there you go. We have a window sill. And the way this works, I believe, is we just kind of fit it on. So just like that. And we're going to go ahead and get the other 3 windows pretty much ready to go. So that way it's ready to go. It says to not install the windows yet, but obviously since we're going to be literally putting siding on, we have to get the sashes in, or sills in first before we put the sashes. But the sashes go inside from there, kind of like Legos, Logan, kind of like Legos. So thankfully, a lot of this wood is still fairly, not weak, but easy to pop out. But I think I am going to continue to use my X-Acto knife to do this. Now, depending on how much energy I have and how far we get tonight, we may still switch over to play video game trains at some point. But as I've mentioned before, this project's currently going on in my garage, which means I can't park in my garage right now, and I kind of want to. So, we'll see. And yes, Bandit, I think I've said before, and I'll say it again. I think I might have gone too big on this first kit to build, because a 6-foot roundhouse is it's kind of big. It's kind of kind of a lot to work on. So we'll make it work though. It'll be cool. So we'll see there. But yeah, I'm excited though to actually get, to be frank, some of this stuff off the ground. Literally, some of the parts are on top of coolers in here, or on top of shelves, and I just want to be able to use my garage for parking my car again, because it's been hot, and I would rather not leave it outside if I don't need to. And yes, the roundhouse itself is roughly 6 foot wide in the back. So, you know, we'll play with that as we get there. So again, for those who are seeing, basically right now I'm building the window sills first, which is literally just taking the two pieces and putting them together. I shouldn't need to have any glue because they literally like lock in and just tighten in, but I think I might still put once it says to, because I'm not quite a step ahead, but it's to the point of being a little ahead because I need to put all these sills in before I start actually putting all of the things in. And there's a bee or a fly floating around in here that's really freaking loud. Thankfully, I'm not allergic, but it's still annoying. Aha, glue. So the other thing is, on some of these sills, when I built them, there's glue that's built up. And I don't know how well, let me flip this around here. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of glue right here that I need to trim out. There's also a few other spots in here that have a little bit of glue buildup. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that here. And trains are fun. Hello, good to have you here. Thankfully, this glue, even though it's really strong, it's also real easy to get off in little bits. And in fact, I'm going to go back to using two hands here. So voila. But, you know, now that window sash should fit fine. And if it doesn't, then we'll get a little bit of other stuff out. Okay, there we go. A little more right there. So sash number 1 and sash number dos. And this does not have a lot of extra room, but it will wiggle. Cool. So again, we'll see how far we get today. It is quite hot. I might get a fan out at some point because I don't have a fan in my garage for obvious reasons. But I'm hoping that I can get most of this wall glued down today. And then my plan is to build one wall first, basically complete it, and then go to the other one. That way it all works the way it's supposed to. And Alex, hello. Glad to have you here. Yes, like the stream. Ragtimer has not been able to stream as much recently. But you know, having you guys help out with that is just, you know, with the likes and all that, certainly helps to get a little more people seeing what I'm up to, why I'm doing it, that sort of thing. So appreciate that. Do I have a certain place for the Roundhouse? Yes. The Roundhouse is going to be in an area under my porch. That way it's not in direct rain, direct sun. It'll be a little bit more protected. So that's the plan. I can't really take you there yet because there's nothing to really put on there because it still has yet to be built. But have some plans on getting that built as soon as the weather starts cooperating. Because again, it's hot as stuff outside. Hot as stuff. I'll let you fill in that word. But you know, we'll get that going. But okay, still number 3. Now in, and that's pretty good right there. Let's get the 4th one on. And then, depending on how this goes, I might end up moving the camera a little bit just to give a better angle for you guys to see what's going on here. So let's get the 4th sill out. Can I just pop this one? It's small enough pieces of wood that I really don't want to break anything. So Angry tries not to swear like Heist does, but Angry will still swear. But, you know, we'll see. Okay, come on here. There we go. And Angry's always careful with X-Acto knives because I had a very, not traumatic, but unfortunate incident as a kid with an X-Acto knife. And I'll leave it at that, but not the best time for the Ragtimer with X-Acto knives. So I'm being extra careful. All right, here we go. Let's get that over there. Let's get that out. Yeah, I don't want to have anything happen to me with a sharp knife. Thankfully, this knife is a little, not blunter, but it's been used a bit, so it's not as laser sharp as it could be. But we'll see. All right, so fourth sash. And again, I'll show you what it's looking like just before I start actually getting the wood cut and assembled here. Come on, get your slimy ass in there. Damn it, you son of a gun. Please, thank you. The other thing I wonder is it's been very humid where I live, so I'm hoping this wood hasn't swollen terribly to then be hard to work with, but okay. That's all four for this one wall. So again, even though it looks like Ragtimer didn't do much, now we have the sashes where all the windows are going to go, and we have the superstructure that we're going to be working around. So the next step, per our fancy schmancy instructions here, the siding, it's all laser cut. Stain the sheets, then break them apart. The ends may need to cut off at the start of the laser cut. They never break off even. Start the short end of the wall and test to fit a few boards. When you get the feel of it, start gluing them in place a board at a time, working your way to the tall end, leaving the windows opening clear of siding. Once you get close to the tall / front end of the wall, strips will be a bit short. Yada, yada, yada. So, boom. So that's where we're at. So let's continue to actually do that. The windows you can see are over here. So we'll get to the sashes potentially in the next step. But Ragtimer needs to get some of this stuff and get cracking on it. So with that said, let's get some siding and start test fitting a few of these things. So here's a couple of blocks of it to get started. And again, I have no idea how to do this. So we're going to find that together. And y'all will either love or hate it. Cool. All right. So, let's see here. This probably can just go like this. Yeah. That is Starry, yes. That is my drink of choice at the moment. For some reason, some of the darker sodas like Pepsi, Coke, they just are too heavy. So Starry will work just fine. All right. So maybe I should have... okay. Okay, let's see here. How much room does it want me to have at the far ends? Okay, it doesn't want me to cover the lower line. What am I doing? I am building a roundhouse. So. Okay. So let's see here. I think if we just start going from this, we'll kind of go from there. So let's go to the line, because I think the line is good. And hello, John, or sorry, James296. Hello. So let's see. Looks like it extends down flat. Okay. So we'll do that. And looks like there's a little piece here, a little nub that needs to get filed down. That'll be enough to get started. Okay, so I think the idea here is maybe I have to get like a pen or something and I can do little marks of where I'm at, because that would make sense. Because if I then went through and just made little notches, and then I cut them and then I install. Because obviously, the other thing is too, I probably should have just done the entire board for painting, and I can still do that. I've got the paint here if I need to, but I can always spot it later on. Try a Sharpie. That's not a bad idea. Let me go get a pencil. I'll be right back. You guys stay here. So let's see here. Cool. You're just right where I left you. Isn't that incredible? Okay. So, let's see here. How should I do this? Probably by just marking it. I might have to lay it down on the other side, but maybe all I do is just kind of like a... I don't know if that did anything, but just kind of mark it back here. Yeah. Okay. We're going to try it sitting down, see what happens. Okay. And once again, massive cutting tool. So... Wonder how easy it is. What will it do? Okay, it did. Except I have the angle going the wrong way because I'm an idiot. Well, that can always be adjusted. Okay. Okay. And then we do like here. And then there. There's my line. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Where was that line? I just lost it. Okay. And then if I do the same principle I did before, okay. And how tight did it say to make these as far as that? I guess I can always trim it if I need to with the X-Acto knife later on. How often do I check the Discord server? I check it daily, but obviously my main thing is work in many ways, so. Cover seems to cover that in. Okay. Okay. So then let's try something different for this one. Let's go ahead and use the X-Acto knife on the edge. And make a notch on that end. And then, let's see, where's that notch? That's the notch, okay. And a slight downhill angle. How much did it cost me for the laser kit? Probably more than I should have spent. But you can get this kit in F scale for 2 stalls for around $700. And then it's like $200 each for the additional stalls. So I'll let you do the math to figure out how much I spent for a 5-stall roundhouse. Okay. Yeah, that seemed to work a lot better. Okay. So now I know what the hell I'm doing. Maybe. Possibly. Because then I can make it a little bit better. Okay. And let's see here. Okay. And I'm keeping all the scrap wood off to the side. That way I can use it for other boards later on. There's the cut. Again, just kind of like a gentle little slopey slope. And sorry there's no like fun music or anything going while we're doing this. It's just kind of all natural with the sounds. So everyone driving through and everything else. Okay. So I think we should go ahead and start actually gluing. So that means I'm going to have to move your camera. So let's change it so that way y'all can actually kind of see. Let's see. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Yeah, we'll do something like that. Okay. It's okay. The internet already knows my face. So whatever. So let's go ahead. Got our glue. Our glue's kind of gone everyone here. But it'll work. So let's actually, before we glue this down, you maybe trim this a little bit more just to make sure it's actually where it needs to be. But okay, let's see. And then okay, let's see. And I will also mention that you guys, yes, you guys, the ones who are watching, are the ones that helped to pay for a lot of the Roundhouse. I did have to pay a little bit of it out of pocket, but you know, I am very thankful to have had your guys' support to make this thing a reality. And obviously, there's a lot more to go on the F-scale railroad. So if you want to help speed up some of that or help Ragtimer get other cool things, super chat or a like, or you know, channel membership, that all helps, goes towards the cause. So thank you. That's my one little plug I'll make. Okay, come on, use some of it. Trim it down. Okay. So that should just about work there. And unfortunately, it does not show me. Well, maybe it will on this end. Okay. So let's start gluing. So we're literally going to go ahead, take a little bit of glue, and lather it on in a light but good layer, and then we'll go ahead and actually attach you to the thing. Okay. And like that, our first board's down. All right, let's keep going. So next board needs to also be trimmed a little bit. And let's go ahead and kind of make a notch right there. And another one right there. Bring that back over. Cut that out. Okay. Come on, you. You stupid son of a bitch. Okay, there we go. Does that fit? Well, that fits better. That fits a lot better. Now, the only wild card is there's not as much gluing surface on here, so I'm just going to still do the same thing and hope that it works. Okay. Okay. Second piece down. Okay, and the next two I think are pretty much ready to cut. Yep, they're good, so we just need to attach them. I can always go back with a little bit of paint later on to get the spots that either I missed or other stuff. So we'll do that. Let me see here. Let's see. Cool. Alrighty. Man, even if only a few boards in, it's actually kind of looking like a roundhouse. And obviously I'll move the camera once we have a few more boards down to show you what we're working with here. So, okay. Okay, I need to slide you all over just a hair because that's not flush. That's flush. That'll work. Nice, Bandon. Thank you. Your words of wisdom are exactly what we need in this trying time. Okay, let's get a few more boards. Okay. And as I said, for people who are looking for the video game trains, we'll probably still do a stream of that tonight if and when I get bored of this. Bored. Okay, let's see. Keep that length. And let's keep going. Yep, see you, Logan. And let's just kind of put another notch there. There's a little bit of glue that ran over, but whatever. We'll continue to work on this here. Let's see. There's the notch. Also, like, the lighting in here is terrible, so, you know, it just is what it is. Where the hell is that notch? Where's that notch? There it is. You know, I probably could just use a pair of scissors if I was smart, but I'm not, therefore. We're doing this the hard way with an X-Acto knife. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay. Yep, and everything's sticking well, which is good. Let's get more of these boards here. I'm probably going to do it this way, just because that board is already done down there. Okay. And eventually I'll have to put the other boards on top of them. There's that knife. But until then, let's see. Okay. Okay. Ow. Stupid roundhouse. It's just too freaking big. This roundhouse is too big. My spoon is too big. Okay. Got my cut line. Come on. And then by the magic of bendy, we're good. Okay. So that's okay. Let's go ahead and glue that one. Getting close to our first window. Okay. And if anyone has any questions about the railroad project or other stuff, I'm happy to answer within reason. Pretty much anything. So, okay. That's good. Next board. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I have that correct. Okay. Okay. What I really would like to do at some point is to have another live Steam day, but the problem is it's been too damn hot. And the people I would normally have over to do live Steam are also busy. So we'll kind of figure that out as we go here. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay. Eventually, too, I'm going to need more glue, but that's a whole another thingy. Okay. So the question is, will another wide board fit? No, but can I use this narrow one? It looks like the answer is maybe. Let's see. I might be able to. It just is slightly too wide. Okay. So what we're going to do, because I've got this narrow piece, okay, we're on an angle. That's partially why. Or at least it appears to be we're on some sort of angle. So how much do we need to cut out of there? Unless it's one of those things of, do I trim the board first and hope it fits, or... Because this, if I have it, is more or less the same level of the wood. Yes, it is the same thickness, so... It shouldn't stay later on. It needs to be on next to it. So... Okay. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to shave down this board a little bit. So let's do it this way a little bit. See how narrow we need to have this thing be. Oh, it's not gonna fit. No. Okay. Can I see that line I just drew? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. Okay. if I do that, it's not going to give me enough to go around. It's the end right there. Now I see it. I still need a little more to trim. Okay. 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 And I can probably buffer it up pretty close to each other. So we'll be good. Let's just make sure to make my cutting point on the top. And then similarly on the other side. Okay. Okay. And for those of you who might be just tuning in or checking out what the hell's going on over here, I am Angry Ragtimer, and I am building a garden railroad roundhouse. So okay. So this will stick in perfect. I'm going to go ahead. Go ahead and install this. Yes, hello ZVK. Let's see here. The only thing is, ZVK, you're the agent of chaos, and there's not a lot of chaos you can bring to this right now, unfortunately. Or fortunately. So. As ZVK, don't call him a good boy. That's just weird. Okay. Let's see. How do they... Okay. Let's see. There's the cut point there. And I'm assuming, yep, there it is. Frankly, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Midland pop in here, because knowing Midland, he would usually make some sort of drains comment. But, you know. Okay. Okay. ZVK, that stream, my gaming rig's having some issues right now, and my streaming rig's having some issues, so we'll try probably for some Derail Valley tonight, but it's being a pain in the tuchus right now, so that's what's going on. Okay. Okay. I'm assuming these have to be glued in. Let me just check the next step just to make sure. So, yeah, okay, they're glued. Okay. Let's see here. Plop you in. There we go. So let's get the next bit on here. Oop. Kind of sad that these have to go the way they do. Because all of the weight basically is down here on this board that I'm on right now. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So what does everyone have for dinner? I'm not eating dinner. I don't have the money for dinner, believe it or not. So I am not having any dinner tonight. I'm on a very strict budget at the moment, so that unfortunately means that some days I don't eat dinner. Actually, most days I don't eat dinner. I just don't have the funds to justify at the moment. Okay. Let's see. Actually, let me turn this around. I think I'm going to put just a hair down of edge glue just to give it a little more latch. And I'll probably regret that later on, but we're going to do it now. So if I just get a little bit of glue on there. Yeah, not a lot, just enough to fill that gap. Okay. And then here. Oh, I see a problem. Yeah, that would do it. Okay. Well, thank you, ZVK. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and like that. Sorry, again, on mobile, things are a little bit harder to read than I would like, but or work with. But okay, let's see. That's roughly where it needs to go. And I wish I could have pizza's EVK, but I've had a lot of greasy, unhealthy food for me recently, and I'm trying to also watch what I eat, but if I don't have the money to eat, then I can't eat. So there you go. All right. This frickin' bug is going to bother me. Okay. Did you work with any live splodies? No, I personally did not, but I helped run the event at the Broad Top, which went over very well, and I know that Garion was there and a few others. So for those who were there for the 4th of July, thank you. We appreciate you coming down and supporting our little railroad and seeing what kind of shenanigans we get up to. So, and Jonathan Coleman, hello. All right, let's see here. Let's see. These are the ones, because the way these windows are supported, or like the boards below it, they're fairly close, but there's no backing on some parts of it. So it's like you put in the board and it's, man. Okay, so I have to be very cautious. I use a sharp edge. Okay, there's that side. And here is that side, and I think that's my 2 cutting points. Yeah, there it is. But and cool, yeah, I heard about the Gettysburg and Northern Railroad finally opening up. That's going to be an interesting ride. So see what they do. Okay. So let's come on, you son of a. Okay. That looks about right. Go ahead and glue this. I think I mentioned this on a past live stream or something, but what I'm up to right now reminds me of my great uncle who passed away last year at the age of 106. But he had constructed a lot of these types of models for his own railroad, and then when he shut down his railroad, I ended up getting most of it, which I'm honored to have. Okay, yeah, this'll work just fine. And then let's cut off that weird end here. Come on, you son of a hoe. Okay, there's that side, and then this side needs to have some other stuff. So You go there, and then we'll glue this on. Okay, and let's go ahead and just, again, put a little bit of glue, just like a dab, dollop of edge glue right there. Just to give a little bit of extra stickiness there. Okay. So now I need to get the other side of this window sash. So, oh my God, does that fit perfectly? Hell yeah, it fits perfectly. Sweet. Oh wait, no, it's slightly short. But I think in this case that might be fine. Or, let's try this next piece. That's still slightly short. Okay. Yeah, I'll save these then. And we'll get the next sheet to get going here. Let's put this over there for the moment. And then, where's the hell did I? There's my knife. Okay. 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 Yeah, that'll work. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit more attachment space too for this, so that'll work well. And then next piece will be like there. Okay. I do appreciate the handful of you that are watching, so thank you. You know, as I said, this has been a long time coming. I'm very excited. A little nervous, but very excited to finally get this thing going. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Because again, I can always file down the ends if I need to. Don't worry, Jonathan Coleman. I've also had traumatic injury. I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but my thumb got sliced open in 2nd grade with an X-Acto knife. So I am being cautious. But, okay, let's see here. Okay. I love how I make these cuts and then I can't see shit. I mean, I'm old. Probably. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see here. Are those boards not quite the same? Oh, I see why. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to use some wood scraps to get into there, but that's where this will probably come in handy. That way I can put like a filler piece in, and then a normal-ish piece. Maybe. Ow. Stupid thing. Yeah, because if I trim this to just be like a sliver, like winner, sliver, thinner. Yep, there is a piece to me. Cool. And there's enough scrap wood I can work with too, so. I can slim that down a little bit more, looks like. But, So we'll probably go in a little bit and play a little bit of train games too. So if people want that, we'll have a little bit of that today. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Yeah, that'll... it's a little warped still, of a piece. But it might be all I need. No, it's crap. I fucked it up. Let's see here. If I use the straight edge as my leading edge, okay. Well, let me get the other long piece in, so that way I'm not just doing this for stupidity reasons. Stupidity reasons. Stupidity reasons. Okay. 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 I'm gonna get that glued in. Okay. 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 Maybe what we'll do is we'll get like half the wall done here, and then we'll call it, or something like that. Yep. And then as far as wood slivers, let's see. Actually, no, that won't work. Let's see. Where's that pencil? see if I can make it happen here. Oh crap, it's Midland. Hi, Midland. Hi. Maybe if I get a ruler or something. Okay. Midland, let me guess. So you're on the track crew tomorrow? There was a put out for track volunteers, and I know somebody who likes to work track. It's Midland. So my guess is that Midland is on the track crew tomorrow. Yep, I knew it. I freaking knew it. Okay. I don't know which piece I'm working with. Am I working with the one that's supposed to be the right size? Okay, I'm going to trim down this one. Yeah, I think this is the one that we're supposed to work with. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Midland. Glad to hear that. Okay. So there's a wide spot up near the top. Oh my God, that fit. Guys, it fit. I should probably put some glue on there. So. A thunderstorm coming in. I think it's a thunderstorm coming in. So I might need to hop off earlier than expected, because if there's a thunderstorm coming, I do not want to be anywhere near a place that's going to get wind and rain and all that other shit. Okay, so that's in. So that fill board actually turned out okay. So now that means we can come back to our regular boards, and this one is too short, right? Correct. But I've got a little time before the weather gets to me, it looks like. So we'll keep going for just a little bit longer. But to give you an idea of where we're at, because I know you've been kind of looking at my face while I'm working, let's just quickly show you. It's coming together. So slowly but surely, you know, this whole side has to turn into that, and then the other one over there. So, you know, we'll just keep cranking around here and see what we can come up with. Midland, if you are around for Derail Valley, let me know. Because I need to get my streaming stuff figured out, since Voice Meter is still being a pain in the tuchus. But I might have like a little test stream, like you could just make sure that all the audio's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, cool. cool. Mountain Dew's giving away $10,000. I mean, I could use $10,000 for Garden Railroad, paying down the debt, you know, all that fun stuff. As I kind of said, and it's true, I am on a payment hold of anything right now, just because, yeah, Garden Railroad's expensive, and my mortgage payment came out, and it's like, okay, cool, you can't buy anything for a while, so have fun. So that's what we're currently at. Let me get all my scraps together in a pile. So. Pepsi sodas. That reminds me. I still have that story there. Okay. Top of the label would say $10,000. Like, you mean like in the cap or somewhere else here, Jonathan Coleman? Because now you have me curious. This one does not say $10,000, but nope. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Yep, Sierra Mist and Starry are the same thing. That is correct, Bandon. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm getting senile and old because literally I can't see shit in here. It got dark outside. Yeah, Midland, you know where I live. Use the internets to tell me how long until a storm gets at my house. You would know. You would know. You know what I could really go for, but I can't right now? Freaking Chinese food. I could really go for some orange chicken right about meow. Okay. That filled in real nicely, actually. Sorry, I'm just really impressed that I was actually able to get that shimmed piece in. But, Rain possible in half an hour. Okay. Thank you. See, this is what I keep Midland around for. What about the Chinese donuts? What the hell are you talking about, Jonathan Coleman? I've never heard of Chinese donuts. Although there's a decent Chinese place that's half an hour away that could really go for right now. Oh, I know why. It's because of that stinky garbage. Okay, that will explain the flies. And Dylan Ochoa. I probably mispronounced that, but welcome. Okay, we'll keep scrap longwood there, scrap shortwood over here, and we'll keep moving. So, let's see here. Keep the longwood together because I can use that for shim pieces. You're the only one who got that right. Well, I will consider that a win then, because I usually mispronounce things terribly. So, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Okay, let's see. And again, sorry my fat arm's in the way, but is what it is. Notch there. Notch there. Probably should move that too, but whatever. Okay. Notch 1, notch 2. Oh yeah, I heard that. It's a coming. Anyone watch the Century of Steam devlog that came out a few days ago? I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm not a SP narrow gauge person, but seems cool. And it had the right amount of explosions in it, I suppose. I actually kind of like that little diesel that they showed off. And hopefully I'm not spoiling anything. But if you're not a supporter of Century of Steam, you should totally go support them because they're doing some cool stuff. And I am excited to see what they do in the future. Yeah, I personally, like when I run my railroad on there, we're going to be a coal road. So we're going to be hauling coal. We're going to be probably playing on Keystone quite a bit, also, or San Juan. But, you know, it's going to be nice to just get our hands on that game because I would love to play it. And it'd be so much nicer than some of the other train games we have out right now. Okay. So let's see here. I had an interesting experience yesterday. I guess we can talk about a little bit. Anyone know of that train guy on Facebook? He came to the Broad Top yesterday and ended up showing him around a little bit. So that was interesting and neat to meet him. Nick Hovey also came along, if anyone knows the name. Where the freak is that little dimple? Oh, there it is. It's way up there. So that was interesting having them there. They were really impressed with the shops and thought what we have is awesome. So it's cool to meet them and see if they come back to the railroad in the future. Okay. I think my light and my time before rain is diminishing greatly, so we might end up calling this the last board for the moment. But I'm actually quite happy with how this is turning out. And again, I've never really built a kit like this before, so this is new. And if people are watching who have built kits who might have feedback of, hey, you should try doing this or, you know, whatever, then have I seen the new J70 mod for Railroad? No, I have not. I've been kind of out of the loop on some Railroader stuff recently, so, you know, there's a lot that I feel like I've missed out on. Let's see. One more board. Because then we'll get us to about an hour and a half anyways on this stream before we go inside for... Yeah, it's getting close. This is the last board. Oh, do you mean the British tram? Yeah, like the Toby mod. Yeah. If you're talking about the one that was made by Pancakes Locomotive Works or Pancakes for Mayor, Pancakes is awesome people. Awesome guy. Met him a few times in person. And, yeah, go support Pancakes. If it's the Raider one, Raider's also a pretty decent model. I have not met Raider in person, though, so I can't make the same praise as I just did for Pancakes. But, okay, that was the one, my Raider. Okay. I've tried both. I like the Pancakes one slightly better. But I also might be slightly biased in that regard, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Last board. Oh, Y6 is Pancakes. J70's rare. To me, they look almost the same, so, you know, ignorant me, but whatever. Okay. So, with this final board for now... All right, let's show you guys what's the final product. So it took an hour and a half, but we have the first, like, fifth of this. So, again, these are all glued down, including the window frame. So, that's looking pretty awesome. However, still have a long way to go. So, thanks for tuning in for this. Again, we're going to start playing some Derail Valley here soon. I'm going to have Midland help me with some stuff, and we'll go from there. But thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the support and the love. And we'll see you on Derail Valley here soon. Bye-bye.